if you're still on your way in. Nice to see you all. Full house, almost. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Catherine Beckett. I'm a member of your festival team today. You'll see all the others. We have fetching pink t-shirts. I'm not sure everybody's as glad they work at Pembroke this morning as I am. A couple of quick announcements just before we get started. First of all, there are no fire drills scheduled today. So if you hear the alarm, please follow the directions of the pink t-shirted stewards. Your evacuation point depends on where you are on site at the time, so please just have a look out for somebody who will direct you. Hopefully you won't need it, but if you need any first aid assistance, again, just call a steward. We do have some people on site who can help you today. Now, lastly, I have to fill you in on a couple of last-minute programme changes. I'm afraid you should all have a programme. There's plenty of them lying around. Unfortunately, two of our honorary fellows who were to be with us today have had to cancel due to illness. So I bring you their profuse apologies. They're sad not to be here, and of course we miss them. They're both on the mend, but not well enough to travel today. So Elizabeth Kendall, unfortunately, couldn't make it. And my great thanks to our own fellow and chaplain, Dr. Andrew Teal, who is playing understudy there, and he will chair the religion and conflict session in here at 1:30, so that will go ahead. The other person who can't be with us, sadly, is Patience Ababi. She was to give readings of her work, Telling Tales, in the chapel at 3 o'clock this afternoon and at 8 o'clock this evening. She's kindly given permission for us to read from her work anyway. And thanks to our friendly neighbours across the road at the Story Museum, we were put in touch yesterday with a local writer and historian, J.C. Nyala, and we are delighted that she'll be coming this afternoon. We look forward to welcoming her. So please do go to those readings anyway if you were thinking of doing so. One other little bear with us notice, speaker related for later on. I don't know how much BBC news you follow, but if you're following much of it at the minute, you may have seen Mariana Spring. She's doing an awful lot of reporting, and she made every effort to try and get here today. It hasn't been possible, but we are going to put a Teams link up in place. So if you were looking forward to asking questions or being part of her discussion, please come here anyway. 12 o'clock in here. Linda Muggleston will be here in person, fresh off a plane from New York, where she's been talking about Johnson all week. So she's well practiced. So please join her anyway, and she will put your questions to Mariana, who will beam in. That's it. Thanks for your patience. Have a wonderful day, and the Master will kick things off properly now.
A fabulous good morning to you all, and welcome to the good weather in Oxford. We only waited 9 months for it, and thank goodness it's arrived. A very, very warm welcome to the Pembroke 400 Festival. And welcome back to many of you. It's a pleasure to see so many alumni and friends here with us today. If you're visiting here as a guest, a special thank you for joining us. We're delighted to be able to share this celebration with you all. You may well know that the date chosen for today's celebration was no accident. It was on the 29th of June, 1624, that King James I of England, for those of you who prefer, James VI of Scotland, issued the Royal Charter and Letters Patent, which brought Pembroke into being. 400 years later, we're here today not only to remember our foundation, but to celebrate the enduring impact of Pembrokians like you across centuries and around the world. I know that some of you have travelled considerable distances to be here, and regularly give generously of your time to serve the college from afar. Thank you. I'm delighted that alumni ambassadors from as far afield as New Zealand and Seattle have come all the way to be with us today, along with long-serving friends including Tom Herman, president of the Pembroke College Foundation in North America, and Steve Atkinson, who's the chair of our Alumni Advisory Board and who coordinates our amazing global ambassador network, which is enormously valuable to the college. Over the course of many months of planning leading up to today, the festival has undergone a series of name changes. What began as a gala became an academic symposium, then a festival of research, and of course, now simply, the 400 Festival. Rather than a sign of indecision, the festival's many identities are, I hope, testament to the uniqueness of what we're trying to achieve today. This is a once-in-a-lifetime celebration, a thank you, and a showcase. It's a coming together, one Pembroke, a recognition of our core purpose as an institution, but today is for everyone. Impact takes many shapes and forms, and I hope that will be clear today through the huge variety of research and creativity that is on display. Of course, anniversaries invite us, first of all, to turn our attention to our beginnings. Today in our College Treasures exhibition and our 400 characters gallery, and in dramatic retellings of our history this evening, you will learn about Thomas Browne, Richard Whittick, and Sir John Bennett, and the contribution of individuals like them who helped to found and grow Pembroke in its earliest days. As we move through the centuries, we encounter figures such as the 18th century dictionary writer Samuel Johnson, whose desk, or is it, has long lived at Pembroke and recently made headlines thanks to research by our own Professor Linda Muggleston. Today in the Pichette Auditorium, Linda's reflections on Johnson will be paired, as you've heard, with alumna Mariana Spring's reflections on stories in our digital age, drawing on her experience as BBC disinformation correspondent. Together they invite us to consider fakery, disinformation, and the value of words throughout time. Meanwhile, as you enjoy the quads between sessions, I invite you to use our Spotter's Guide in your programme, looking out for tributes to the 18th century chemist James Smithson, the 20th century literary giant J.R.R. Tolkien, and finally we do have the memorial to him when you find it, the less known but no less significant Pembrokians of the First and Second World Wars, right up to the 21st century members of staff who've tirelessly served and shaped our college. This morning, as our present academics discuss democracy, economy, and human rights around the world, they are building on a long tradition of influential lawyers and politicians at Pembroke. From William Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England to Senator William Fulbright's international exchange and grant programme, Pembrokians of the past have had enormous impact addressing the challenges of their day. In the medical field, Pembroke's influence stretches as far back as the first Master of the College, Thomas Clayton, who was Oxford's Regius Professor of Medicine from 1612. He would not be the last medical master. Sir Roger Bannister, who was master from 1985 to 1993, retired from his record-breaking athletics career to pursue an equally illustrious career in neurology, practicing for 40 years and publishing more than 80 papers. A new cabinet, holding his medals and trophies, now sits in the Henderson building. Have a look on your way to or from talks in our seminar rooms. Today we celebrate continuing impact in health and medicine with our Innovations in Health stream, featuring discussions with Pembroke academics and students, as well as alumnus and Chief Medical Officer, Professor Sir Chris Whitty, who will talk us through recent advances in medicine. Sir Chris, thank you for joining us today. Today's festival is a testament to our conviction that real impact is not achieved behind closed doors. Beyond events like these, there are individuals across our community striving every day to communicate and engage the public in research and innovation. And closer to home, our unique research groups work to bring together knowledge and insight from across the globe and share it with a wider audience. In a brilliant reflection of our interdisciplinary community, Stream 4 sees 4 individuals with a shared commitment to public engagement, in their respective fields come together for a discussion moderated by Tanya Beckett, the BBC business correspondent. Join Dr. Katerina Johnson, science communicator, Dr. Nicholas Cole, academic director and founder of the Quill Project, and others later this morning to think about the definitions and purposes of public engagement for academia now and into the future. This afternoon, we expect to have a visit to the festival by the university's Chancellor, Lord Patten. You'll know, I'm sure, that he will stand down from his exacting role at Oxford in the coming weeks after many long years of dedicated service, including to Pembroke as our college visitor. We are very glad that he'll be with us for a final official visit today, and we look forward to welcoming him to attend the discussion on translation and interpreting in diplomacy, which will be led by Professor Henrietta Harrison and former head of the Foreign Office, Lord Ricketts. In the spirit of cross-community collaboration, our conservation and biodiversity session offers the chance to hear not only from fellows who are working together to apply AI and robotics to climate and biodiversity prediction, and from the Pembroke academic who leads Big Cat conservation projects in Africa, but also from the student leader of the JCR Biodiversity Project, whose work closer to home has seen part of the Pembroke Sports Ground transformed into a fantastic site of biodiversity research, restoration and outreach. There will be opportunities to hear from other students and junior academics about their research and interests throughout the day at our Speaker's Corner in the Andrew Pitt Room. From yoga and maternity in the 1990s to marine coastal ecology via mind-altering sleep techniques, generative AI and criminal justice, and literature and politics in pre-modern China. Do enjoy the breadth of thought from our current members in short talks and presentations. They are our lifeblood, they are our future. These are the discussions we hear in Pembroke every day. Please go to Speaker's Corner and just get a taste of what you heard when you were here, which still happens today. These are the academic leaders of tomorrow, and you will have met them here first. Of course, we can't fully celebrate Pembroke's impact without including our influence in the arts and music worlds. Today, Pembrokians in the arts are represented by a collaborative performance in the chapel, which will see alumni and current students join forces to bring Pembroke's history to life through dramatisation and readings. Join Greg Neal, historian and editor of our college history, and Toby Hulse, playwright and theatre director, for Pembroke like you've never seen it before in the chapel this evening. So good, there are 2 performances, so no one need miss out. Pembroke's musical bone will see performances by our current organ scholar, the English Wind Concert, and our own music director. And of course, those staying for the evening will enjoy an exciting premiere of a new composition, written for the anniversary by alumnus Tariq O'Regan, followed by a trip back in time with 17th century music and dance. Do make the most of opportunities to engage with what most interests you today. Although some of you have pre-registered for sessions, please don't feel bound by that, nor by the timings listed in the programme. The day's enjoyment is entirely up to you. You are very welcome to slip in and out of sessions as it suits you, regardless of what you've said in advance, and without worrying about offending anyone. This is, after all, Pembroke. Today's programme is just a taste of Pembrokians around the world. I hope that through our 4 research streams and the varied fringe programme, you will come away with a sense of the breadth of Pembroke's impact. But above all, I hope you'll just enjoy being here as part of our special community today. Join a tour of Pembroke's horticultural past and present in the gardens. Delve into the lesser-seen parts of college with a trip to the wine cellar. Indulge in secrets of the college site in Tim's tours of the buildings and grounds. Nominate fellow Pembrokians for our 400 characters gallery. And add yourself to our interactive album, please. And of course enjoy our chef's delicious culinary creations throughout the day. All of these things are a part of what makes us Pembroke. I hope that however you choose to spend your day, you'll feel a part of that remarkable and colourful tapestry of Pembroke's impact. I'll say a proper thank you, if I may, this evening to all of our teams who've made today possible. But I want to, now to acknowledge the very many speakers and participants who have so generously given their time to share their expertise and ideas with us today, especially those who've travelled long distances to join us. Thank you to all of them, and thank you to each of you for being here and for being part of Pembroke. So may I now hand over to Professor Andre Ferger, our Tanaka Fellow in Biochemistry, and in his spare time, also our Development Fellow, to introduce the first session of today. Thank you all very much indeed.